Hello lovelies, and welcome to my channel, and welcome back if you are returning. Now I thought today I would do a flip through of some decks because the wonderful Renee is posting videos again back on her channel Meadowlark Mystic, which to be honest is a massive New Year treat, I think, because Renee hasn't posted videos really for a while, so it's just really lovely that she's back in the space. And her last video I just really enjoyed. It was just a lovely flip through of decks with keywords. So decks like one of my favourites she showed, the Gill Tarot. She also showed the Animal Spirit Tarot, is it, as well. Loads and loads of fabulous decks, a lot of which I had never ever seen before. So fantastic. I'm going to link that video in the description box for you to go and watch, or to find Renee if you've not found her yet. She is such a skilled, fantastic practitioner and a really good friend, and it was just lovely to hear her back in the space talking about decks. So decks with keywords just like this one. So I am not going to show any more of this one or any of the decks that that Renee showed, simply because you can go there and watch those. But it just got me thinking, and I started going through my collection of tarot, thinking, okay, what tarot decks do I have that Renee hasn't shown that have keywords? Do I have any additional ones? There's some extra tarot decks that have keywords, and the first two are probably two of my favourites from last year, which I worked with for quite a long time, working together. So I absolutely fell in love with the Cozy Witch Tarot deck, which is an Amanda Lovelace deck. Worked with it for a number of months actually in 2024. So these are the backs, come with writing on there. So I suppose this kind of isn't really keywords as such, but it's additional writing. It's a key phrase, let's call it a key phrase, to kind of add into the meaning. So I've kind of pulled a few of these actually that have got key phrases on as well as keywords. It's just that like additional writing. But this deck really did worked beautifully. It worked beautifully in 2024. I used this deck when I started playing with my week ahead spread and using that throughout the whole week as the key focus of my tarot practice, and to find the story within that week ahead spread, and to pulling the 4 cards for experiences to search for throughout the week as well. If you haven't seen those videos that explain that weekend spread, I'll link them in the description box along with Renee's video. But I found this deck beautiful. So we've got a key phrase on that deck, but I also worked with it with the Destiny deck. At one point I decided to double up on the decks that I was working with. So this has got like bronze gold edging and these gorgeous backs. It's a lovely rose petal finish. If you're interested in this deck, the website to visit the creator at is there, so you can freeze frame that and you can visit the website there. This is kind of gilded. Can you see the gilding catching the light there? Sort of kind of pip deck, but these two together, when I doubled up on decks for that week ahead spread to give me more to work with, these two just worked beautifully. And you can see you've got keywords, 2 keywords for each of these cards. So we've got like partnership and options on the 2 of Wands, and then with the phrase there as well, a key phrase and keywords. Oh, it was just sublime. So we've got illusion and dreams on the moon card. I mean, look at that moon card. Isn't that just spectacular? alongside the star. Look at that lovely combination. 6 of Wands along with the Queen of Cups, action and victory. So you can see the keywords are on all of the cards, not just your minors. Queen of Swords there, intellectual and perfectionist, along with the 8 of Cups. So there's just something about these two decks together. I found through my practice last year that I really enjoyed a more pictorial deck with a more pippish deck. It was something that I really discovered about myself through my practice last year. So look, we've got the Chariot with the 2 wheels with the 2 doves, the 2 of Cups, love and peace. So those two were just wonderful, and I did find that the keywords and those key phrases really did add an awful lot. So again, if you didn't catch that, that's the Destiny deck, the Art of Tarot, along with Amanda Lovelace's The Cozy Witch Tarot deck. Of course, another one that sees an awful lot of use in my practice last year in particular is my Barbara Walker Tarot. This is the one in the tin. In a tin because it comes out with me on soul story adventures, like ghost hunting adventures. And I do find that this in particular is incredibly good for that sort of activity, because if I'm trying to tap into the voice of a spirit or a soul to find a soul story, a card that gives that communication the most chance possible is a card that's pictorial, so you can get hints from the picture. It's also a tarot because it's got the tarot meaning, but it also comes with keywords. So this deck was picked for the job of the soul story adventures because it's got the keywords. So I think sometimes with keywords on decks, it's important to think, why do I want the keywords there? Is this really going to help? Sometimes you might want to move away from the keyword. You don't want the distraction of it, but sometimes I find like the keyword there is really vital for the practice that you're putting it into. So for soul stories, I really did find that this Barbara Walker was just perfect, and I had some real moments through 2024 with this deck. I went to a haunted mine in Wales with the deck and picked up a voice not only on camera but through the deck itself that really gave an insight into the life there. When I spoke to the staff there, they kind of verified the kind of life that the miners would have. I took this to Hayden Hill House and picked up on really pertinent messages there as well, but it's just really useful. These keywords within the deck, it's just very useful. I think this was a card that I pulled at Hayden Hill House, where the story is that somebody got killed in the tunnels beneath the house, and if that doesn't look like a tunnel beneath the house, I don't know what does. So yeah, perfect deck for that sort of job because of its keywords. Now, I didn't buy many decks last year, but this was one of the few decks that I did buy. So this is the Urban Tarot, and I honestly don't think this gets enough love on TarotTube because it's so beautiful, and I've loved working with this deck last year. So this is the Urban Tarot. So this is a Thoth based deck, and I think it's images of, is it New York that it takes images from? I think I'm right in saying that. But the artwork, oh my gosh, the artwork is incredible. And of course, because it's Thoth based, you've got the Thoth based keywords on there. So not on the majors, but look, on the minors you have these Thoth based keywords. I mean, look at that, for pleasure, the The imagery is incredible in this deck, and I just don't think it gets enough love. Look at that, the Day Trader. So not only have you got the title of the card on the courts, but you've got like a different kind of title, which is almost like a keyword. But then all of these minors come with that keyword. So I suppose in a way at Thoth deck, the Thoth as well, which I've literally got out right next to me here. Shall we do a pairing? I mean, just grab. I'm currently working with my Fairy Tale Tarot with the Thoth. But you've got keywords on those. Do you know what? I bet these two would pair beautifully as well. Of course, I'm getting all the majors, which don't have keywords. But there you go. And look at those together. So worry and valour, it adds a lot in, doesn't it? Abundance with the Knight of Wands, just perfect. I love this art card. Can we just appreciate that artwork? Isn't that just amazing? And we have Truce with Pleasure. Yeah, these two would pair, wouldn't they? I think they would pair beautifully. Look at that Two of Cups, isn't that gorgeous, with love? And then that's upside down, Candy. Love and power. Oh my gosh, what a great message there. So again, you can see the keywords absolutely working together. The universe with sorrow. Look at that star card. That star card is so beautiful. Right, last two with the keywords, virtue and completion. Just gorgeous. So Thoth with the Urban Tarot, which is an unsung masterpiece, I think, the Urban Tarot. Of course, another reason for using tarot decks with keywords is if you're learning. So it's just a really useful prompt when you're trying to remember the individual cards and their meanings, and I think this one's brilliant for that, although it's just beautiful in its own right. The Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce. This has really clever keywords. I'm sure you're all aware of this deck. I mean, look how beautiful that is. But the keywords are very clever because they're not really in your face. You can see they're built into the artwork. So for the Two of Wands, we've got plans, partnership and influence, and they're kind of subtly drawn into the artwork. So the Seven of Pentacles, look, here they are, goals, potential and success. Now, I didn't pull the trigger on this deck for a while, simply because I thought the faces were too emotionless. However, I love design and I love patchwork and I love colour, and I thought this looks like a patchwork quilt. I was in love with the artwork, and I thought, does every deck need to have full emotion in the faces, or can we not just do it with the tarot meaning and just the beauty of the card? And I pulled the trigger and I didn't regret it. And I think because it's more like a flat design artwork, it does make it really useful that we've got all of these keywords to work with too. So we've got harmony, childhood, reconciliation through repeated around there. I think it's just the fact that it was a face deck and they all seemed very flat, but I still love it. Look, you can see the keywords are on the cups there. Just lovely. And in this deck, unlike the Urban Tarot, the majors also have keywords. You can see this is Temperance, and you've got the keywords around the face there. A very Dracula inspired card there as well. And the 8, look at all the keywords going up the tree. Isn't it just delightful? Reads beautifully. I worked with this quite a bit, not last year, the year before, and it did really read beautifully for me. But a great one as well if you're a beginner and if you're a learner, or if you're buying for a beginner, because there's nothing too in your face with the artwork, so there's nothing going to put you off really in the artwork or beginner off. And then you've got these keywords on every card to support you. So beautiful, beautiful possibility there. The Wandering Star Tarot by Kat Pierce comes with a delightful chunky book in the box, and it's fabulous. So next I've got a couple of angel tarot decks here to show you. Both of these decks have keywords as well. So this one is mass market and readily available. So this is the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot by Radley Valentine. This one is out of print, but I'm going to show you anyway because it was out of print when I got it, and I was grateful to see it online, because then when it came up at a really affordable price second hand, it meant that I could jump at it, and I knew I wanted it. So this is out of print, this one isn't, so I'll show you the mass market one first. These are the backs, and I love this deck. And you can see, look, you've got the keywords all along the bottom. So the 8 of Fire, speed, activity, multitasking. Look at the artwork. Awareness, caution and consequences for the 7 of Air. The 2 of Fire, planning, partnering, progress. Lovely. Now the courts in this deck, the queens in particular, are so beautifully done. You've got body diversity, you've got age diversity as well, which I love. You've got skin colour diversity. It's great for all of that. The Queen of Water, loving, giving, psychic. So the keywords are there. Look, even in the court cards and in the majors. So it really is a deck where you've got keywords all the way throughout. Look at that, the Lovers, relationship, emotions and choices. This is absolutely the card that made me buy this deck. The 3 of Water, the 3 of Cups. Now this is my daughter Tilly's significator card, because she is the social butterfly of the house, and not only are the butterflies featured on this card, but one of the figures, this one here, looks so like my Tilly. And if you know Tilly from the channel and you've been around for a while, I think you will agree, and it just sums her up. Celebration, community, friendships, she's all about that. The minute I saw this card, I ordered the deck based on that card, but also on the courts as well. At first when I saw it, I thought, what is that? The artwork, I thought, I don't know whether that's my style. The more I looked at it, oh my gosh, the more I've just fallen in love with it. And definitely the minute I saw that 3 of Cups, it was an absolute no-brainer. So you can see it is a beautiful, beautiful possibility if you want to work with an angel deck. Look at that Queen of Fire. That was the second card that made me want the deck. I love that card. So that is your mass market angel deck. I have been accused in the past of having Granny's Bloomers taste, which I think is a huge compliment to me. And I do. I like kitsch, I like flowers, I do like lace, I collect lace. I do really have Granny's Bloomers taste. And when I saw this deck, when I first saw this deck, I thought, gosh, this is a Granny's Bloomers deck, and I love it for it. So what you've got, again, not keywords, you've literally got a key paragraph, a small book on each card. But it's that idea of extra words just to give you an idea. They all look like plates on the wall, don't they? Oh, isn't it fantastic? So look, the 8 of Thoth, you may feel as though you're restricted by the circumstances you find yourself in, but that's just an illusion. Make a promise to yourself to refuse to be stuck in a situation that's making you unhappy. Don't wait for someone to come to the rescue when you can free yourself. So it does put you in a possibly restrictive reading there. I think the more it becomes like a key sentence or a key paragraph, the longer the writing, the more it kind of boxes you in for the meaning. So that's something to bear in mind when you're looking at words on a deck. I think if it's just keywords, then it can just add. I mean, if you're good at just ignoring what doesn't fit and going with what does, and I don't think it boxes you in. But if you're someone that if that was on the card you would have to go with that, then that's something to consider. But then if you want, say, a deck where you're just pulling one card a day, say as a devotion or a prayer, then this is really nice because it's spoon feeding you it for you to mull over through the day. So again, it's that idea of thinking about what you want the deck to do, why are you bringing it into your collection, and then deciding on whether you want a keyword or key sentence or a key paragraph like this. But I love it. It's my Granny's Bloomers deck and I absolutely love it. So that is the second angel deck I wanted to share with you, and the backs of these, look at that, absolutely gorgeous. So another deck which I managed to find secondhand, I think this is still actually pretty widely available and easy to be found secondhand, is the Lord of the Rings tarot deck and card game. Now there are a few Lord of the Rings decks. I managed to track down this and the book that goes with it for a really reasonable price last year, which I was really happy about. I am a massive Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit fan. Now again, what you've got with this deck, you've got a sentence, you've got extra text. It's not really a keyword. I am kind of coming away from that idea of keywords here. It's a bit like that Guardian Angel tarot deck. It's got like a sentence. King of Cups, Frodo, though injured, resists the call of the riders. They are then swept away. So within that, you've got your tarot meaning, you've got the image, you've also got that sentence to add in meaning, like Goldberry, the water sprite, guards the source of water. So like guarding a source. There's a new meaning there thrown in. Throw an oaken shield and Gimli the dwarf resolve to work together. So it's the King of Cups, but it's that you've got something completely different thrown in to the mix. Now some people might really dislike that, especially on some of these literature that are linked to stories and books. They don't always correspond with the card meaning, and so it is something completely new coming into the mix. Some people might not like that. I love that. I've worked with this sort of thing where there is a sometimes unrelated quote in the Shakespeare Oracle deck, which I've actually got next to me. Let's get this one out. So it's called the Shakespeare Oracle, but as you probably know, because I've said it 1,000 times on the channel before, this is called the Shakespeare Oracle, but it is still a tarot deck. And with this one, which is very pippish in the minors, you have a quote from Shakespeare, a Shakespeare play, across that centre scroll, and the quote doesn't always line up with the card meaning, but what I found is to go with the card meaning, and the quote invariably does come into play somewhere in the reading. It just adds something extra in. So I know we've drifted away from keywords here and we're on like additional words on cards, but it's just interesting to think about, isn't it? Like what you would use it for, and whether it would fit in with a practice, and whether it would make you buy a deck or stop you buying a deck. For me, it was one of the reasons I wanted this deck. I wanted that additional Shakespearean quote to add into my tarot reading. Like I say, I've used this deck. Actually, this is the deck that comes with me when I go to Anne Hathaway's cottage, which is somewhere I go quite often. And I'll sit in the gardens. Sometimes just have a cup of tea, or to read, or to go and use this deck and pull a tarot reading. There's something about being in that garden that I love using this deck with. And that quote has always, once I've kind of deciphered what the meaning of the reading is, it adds something unbelievable. It can be really, really interesting. In this one, you can see the majors do not have that additional writing on, and neither do the majors, the courts rather, but the minors do. Another real favourite for me, this is one of my probably top 5 tarot decks. I love this deck. Along with the Barbara Walker, it's got that kind of rich, deep energy. The Stretch Tarot. This is the deck that I chose to take to Margaret's house with me, and I've had my most profound readings ever with the Stretch Tarot. We've got these backs. And this is a keyword deck, although you can see that majors don't have keywords, but minors do. So we've got the 2 of Wands and Dominion. We've got the 8 of Pentacles and Skill. So again, there's a lot that you can pull from when you're working with this deck. There's an awful lot in the imagery anyway, along with the tarot meaning, and then that addition of the key word. So it's very deep to fall into. And I would say, if you did want to do any sort of spirit connection work using tarot, to look for decks like this that have got like an awful lot that you can pull from. I love this card. The butterfly over the open grave. If you've watched my Margaret's house video, you will know. And I can link that in my description box. It's still my all-time favourite video that I've ever done, because it just meant such a lot to me to create and make and track down that adventure. It was just a real calling to do that video. So I'll link that. But you can see like the addition of the keywords here. I mean, look at that keyword of home over that image. Just wonderful. There's some wonderful images. I also love the colour palette of it. It's a fantastic deck. We've got the 8 of Wands with movement, and then like you've got the burnt matches, you've got a man on a bike, and you've got the doves. There's so much there that you could pull on. Yeah, so the Stretch Tarot, it's another great deck with keywords. So this is another deck. I've not used this one yet. This is one that's still waiting to be used. This is the Mythical Goddess Tarot by Sage Holloway, and Catherine Skaggs is the artist. I think this one's out of print, guys, as well, so don't go racing to find where you can buy it. But if you like it, then do keep your eyes out for a search of it, because of course eventually, if you're they do show up, don't they, eventually. We've got these rather fantastic kind of psychedelic backs, and you've got an array of different coloured edges here, and we have some amazing cards with not only the goddess name, so you've got the goddess energy to draw from and any knowledge you've got of the goddess, but you've also got keywords. So look at this: wind with criticism, seas and maiden passion, fire, 2 of fire centering, the 9 of fire, integrity. So your majors you can see are goddesses. So Sophia is 5 with wise wisdom, wise woman. The 9 of seas, or the 9 of water, joy. So the world card is Gaia. Look at that fabulous Gaia card. Isn't that wonderful? The great void, Aditi. The 10 of seas is purity. Mother perception. The 8 of seas, depletion. So I do think that this is gorgeous. So you've got seas and you've got wind and you've got fire and you have earth, crone, ascension. Just wonderful. Look at this card. Isn't that beautiful? The 8 of earth, nurturance. Crone, visionary. So you've got crone in the courts as well, which is wonderful. So it's a fabulous deck. It's one that I've got out to work with this year. It's not one that I've worked with yet, only because I've been working with other decks, not because I haven't wanted to work with it. It's definitely out to work with this year. And I am going to be looking forward to having the keywords to work with as well. So it's another goodie, isn't it, that one? Mythical Goddess Tarot. So keep an eye out. Also keep an eye out for reprints as well. These decks I've seen a lot in the last 12 months. I cycle round to reprints as well. But yeah, I do love this one. I really do. In this bag I have the Tarot of Transformation, and if I remember correctly, the Tarot of Transformation also has keywords. It also has a more limited colour palette. You can see, just like the last tarot, it's got different coloured edges. This one is by Willow Arlenia and Jasmine Lee Corey. This is still available to order on the website. So I think if you Google the Tarot of Transformation, it is still available. Not that I'm trying to sell anybody anything. 4 of Discs, manifesting home. Look, you can see you've got a key phrase, which is wonderful. The 4 of Cups, untying the mask. The 8 of Wands, dream time. I just think the artwork on this is gorgeous. I mean, look at that little cottage, almost lost. The Master of Conscious Creation for the Magician. And I think you will see there just how much there is that you could pull out of that artwork. Natural intimacy for the 5 of Cups. Look at that magical woodland scene. The Server of Cups, attending to emotional needs. This is a card that I pulled on repeat. Leaving the story, the 10 of Swords. There's just so much in there. Authentic nourishment for the 3 of Wands. So one that really does go its own way, really does. But I like that because you've got the best of both worlds then. You can read it literally how you read your own tarot or bog standard tarot meaning. You can go to the guidebook and you can see like a twisted or alternative meaning, and you can use this incredible artwork, and you've got your key phrase. There's a lot there that you can pull on, and I personally love that. It's a great one. So that is the Tarot of Transformation with these backs, purple backs on it. So the next one is really, really beautiful tarot. So this is the Tarot of the Spirit by Pamela and Joyce Eakins, which comes with its very own overlay of the Tree of Life, which you can put over every card. Comes with keywords. So 6 of Wind, Clarity. 7 of Fire, Courage. It's the most beautiful artwork. One of the most beautiful tarot decks I own. These are the backs. I bought it, to be honest, for its beauty, and I was just so curious about that overlay of the Tree of Life. It also comes with 2 enormous books. One to kind of work you through working with the Tree of Life and Kabbalah, and one enormous book for the tarot card meanings. I think this is the type of deck, if you wanted to do a deep dive into a deck, this is one that could keep you going for years. And I do love the additional titles, and I do love the additional keywords on it. But mostly, boy, do I love this artwork. Isn't it spectacular? Look, the 3 of Water, Stream of Love. Oh, and the 9 of Wind, the Screen. The 6 of Earth, Beauty. The 10 of Fire, the Cage. The 2 of Wind, the Crossing. Beautiful colour palette as well. The Flame of Spirit for the 4 of Fire. The 1 of Wind, Dawn. You've got this beautiful abstract painting. And the 5 of Wind, Fear. Personally, I think this deck is absolutely stunning. Just so stunning. There's our Death card. Look at that. Again, it gives incredible readings. Look at that, 7 of Earth, the Garden. Isn't that just beautiful? So that is the Tarot of the Spirit, and I grabbed out Ithel Colquhoun's Tarot as colour because I'm sure this has additional text on. It might just be additional text with like occult titles. I don't even know whether that's correct, guys, but I wanted to see these 2 next to each other because I thought these 2 might pair nicely, and I'm wanting to work with both of these decks more as well in 2025. So this is what I mean, the 2 of Wands, the Lord of Dominion. It's all of these titles. Are they Golden Dawn titles? But it's additional text. Look, the Tower, the Lord of the Hosts of the Mighty. I think these 2 could work so nicely together. Look, the 7 of Water, Insight, alongside the 4 of Wands, the Lord of the Perfected Work, like that idea of perfection and insight. Extra words works together nicely. So the Empress, the daughter of the mighty ones, with Zenith and the 9 of Earth. So this really, guys, is just out for me to just have a quick cheeky look at this pairing because I've been meaning to do this for a while. Look at that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? This almost picks up the painting there. So the Way of the Cross with the Lord of the Flame and Lightning, the King of the Spirits of Fire. So that is a possibility for pairing, and that does provide extra words. So I think that's kind of it. I probably got more, you know, with keywords and extra words. I know the Shakespeare Tarot that I've been using, the other one, which has been on lots of my latest videos, that has keywords and quotes and character names. Also the Dickens Tarot I've just bought, again, that has quotes, literature quotes and character names on as well. So those are another 2 that I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm going to leave it at that today. I'll link any videos I mentioned. I will definitely link all of Renee's channel and video, the first video, which has got completely different decks on, so do go and watch that as well if you're interested. I'll link that, or in my community tab there is a link to Renee as well, because I shared it in there. But guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been really nice just to sit and share some tarot, because I haven't done that for ages, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.